Have you ever felt a chill run down your spine? That unnerving sensation of being watched when you're completely alone? What if that feeling wasn't just your imagination? What if it came from something seemingly innocent, something sitting right there in your room? Today, we journey to the beautiful islands of Okinawa, Japan, not for its stunning beaches or rich history, but to uncover a story that lurks in the shadows, a tale that has been whispered for generations. This is the story of the Shadow Doll of Okinawa. Picture this, a quaint, traditional doll. It's beautifully crafted, dressed in the vibrant, intricate style of the ancient Ryukyu kingdom. Its painted face is serene, almost lifelike. It's the kind of souvenir you'd be proud to display, a piece of authentic Okinawan culture. But this doll holds a secret, a dark and unsettling one that only reveals itself when the lights go down. Its owners, past and present, all report the same chilling phenomenon. The doll's shadow has a life of its own. Now, we all know how shadows work, right? You need a light source and an object to cast the shadow. Simple physics. But with this doll, the laws of physics seem to bend and break. Witnesses swear that its shadow appears even in a pitch-black room, a faint, dark silhouette against the wall where no shadow should be. It moves, it shifts, it seems to breathe, completely independent of the doll itself. Imagine waking up in the middle of the night and seeing a dark shape dancing on your wall, while the doll that supposedly casts it remains perfectly still on your shelf. The creepiness doesn't stop there. Some who have dared to watch it closely report an even stranger detail. When the doll is moved, its shadow doesn't follow immediately. There's a delay, a lag, as if the shadow is reluctant to follow, or perhaps as if it's a separate entity tethered unwillingly to the doll. It's a subtle but deeply disturbing detail. It's like watching a reflection in a mirror that moves a split second after you do. Your mind struggles to comprehend it, and a primal fear begins to creep in. Living with the Shadow Doll is an exercise in paranoia. One owner, a young woman who received it as a gift, described the constant, oppressive feeling of being watched. It was most intense at night. She'd be lying in bed, the darkness of her room absolute, yet she could feel a pair of unseen eyes fixed on her. The feeling was so strong, so palpable, it made her skin crawl. She would pull the covers over her head, her heart pounding in her chest, trying to convince herself it was just her imagination. But deep down, she knew the source of her terror was sitting on the dresser, its painted eyes seemingly following her every move. And then there are the sounds, faint at first, easy to dismiss as the house settling or the wind outside. But they always came from the direction of the doll, and only after the sun had set, a soft scratching like tiny fingernails on wood, a faint, whisper-like sigh that would drift through the silent room. One man claimed he heard a soft, sorrowful humming, a child's tune with no discernible melody, originating from the corner where the doll was placed. These sounds were never loud, never obvious enough to be recorded, but they were persistent, slowly chipping away at the owner's sanity. So, what is the story behind this haunted object? Local folklore offers a chilling explanation. The doll is believed to be a vessel, an earthly home, for a restless spirit. Some legends say it's the spirit of a young child who passed away tragically. Her soul unable to find peace, she latched onto the doll, her favorite plaything in life, and now her spiritual energy animates its shadow. Others whisper a darker tale, that the doll was used in an old, forbidden ritual to trap a spirit, and that the shadow is the spirit's desperate, silent scream for release. Whatever its origin, the consensus is the same. Something otherworldly resides within the doll. Now, you might be thinking, if it's so creepy, why not just get rid of it? Well, it's not that simple. The legend carries a stark warning. Attempting to discard the doll only brings misfortune. It's as if the spirit inside becomes vindictive when rejected. One story tells of a family who, terrified by the doll's nightly activities, threw it in the trash. The very next day, a series of inexplicable disasters struck them. A small fire broke out in their kitchen. The father lost his job, and the youngest child fell gravely ill. Desperate, they retrieved the doll, cleaned it, and placed it back in their home. The misfortunes ceased almost immediately. Another account involves a man who tried to bury the doll in the woods far from his house. He drove for hours, dug a deep hole, and left it there. When he returned home, exhausted but relieved, he found the doll sitting on his doorstep, its clothes muddy, waiting for him. The sheer impossibility of it sent him into a panic. He understood then that he was bound to the doll, that it would not let him go. These stories serve as a powerful deterrent. They paint a picture of a possessive, powerful entity that you do not want to cross. The doll isn't just an object you own. In a way, it owns you. For those who find themselves in possession of the Shadow Doll, the local elders of Okinawa offer one crucial piece of advice. A rule that must never, ever be broken. Never display the doll facing a wall. The reasoning is steeped in superstition, but it's a warning taken very seriously. They believe that if the doll faces the wall, it allows the spirit's shadow to fully merge with the darkness, to roam freely without being tethered to the doll. When this happens, the paranormal activity escalates dramatically. The subtle whispers become clear voices. The feeling of being watched turns into the sensation of an icy touch. And the shadow is no longer confined to the wall, but is seen moving through the house. It's the spirit's way of claiming the space as its own. So, the doll must always face out into the room, where the light can touch it, and where its shadow, however independently it moves, remains tethered. It's a fragile truce, a way of coexisting with the unsettling presence. You acknowledge its existence, you respect its power, but you also set a boundary. The tale of the Shadow Doll of Okinawa is a potent reminder that some objects are more than just wood and fabric. They can be vessels for history, for emotion, and sometimes for things we cannot explain. It blurs the line between folklore and reality, leaving us to wonder, is it just a story? A clever combination of psychological suggestion and creaky old houses? Or is there truly a doll on a quiet island in Japan, casting a shadow that dances on its own in the dead of night? Perhaps the next time you see an old doll in an antique shop, or a flea market with its painted smile and glassy eyes, you'll think twice. You'll wonder about its history, who owned it, and what secrets it might be keeping. And as you walk away, you might just find yourself checking your own shadow, just to make sure it's still following you properly. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the shadows. If you have any similar stories or experiences, I'd love to read them in the comments below. Dan T. Forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more explorations into the unknown. Stay curious and stay safe.